everybody.
Now,
Martine.
Hey, Martine. Hey, Robert. Okay. Hi, Hannah. Hey, it's going to be a little noisy for the first bit of our trip but we're right by the river and there's wood carvings that I have to show you, so it's a trade-off. I really, really hope you like this tour. Because once we leave here, we are distinctly beyond hope. So, we left Kamloops early, 6:15, up and over to Merritt, the country music capital of Canada, and then over the mighty Coquihalla. The day is so perfect. Hey, Michelle, hola. The day is so perfect that when we're at the very top, in fact, I'm going to turn the screen around to give you a sense where we are. I'm underneath a maple tree right now, but you'll see the big peak way in the distance up there. We are currently at about 40 meters in elevation, whereas an hour and 20 minutes ago, we were at 1,260 meters, and 2.5 hours ago, we were at 1,444 meters. So, hey, Danny, nice to see you, my friend. So we came up and over. Martine, you ask good questions. So, big peak up there, but it was so clear that from the top of the pass, I could see Mount Baker way in the distance. When we get on the ferry this afternoon, watch, I'll probably do a very last minute Facebook Live out there. But I want to start at this important place. So we are up above. Like I say, the first bit will be noisy because we're right on the Trans-Canada Highway, but I can't not come and show this to you. So, yesterday, Diane and I stopped at the border of British Columbia, the Continental Divide, and Mount Robson Provincial Park. We stopped right there, and then right leaving there, Diane, hi Rita, what did I tell you to take note of?
The water.
The
color.
Yeah, the color of the water, because we saw a nice little clear river. That was the start, the headwaters of the Fraser River. So in just drive time, averaging over 100 kilometers an hour, it has taken 6.5 hours of driving to come down to here. So this entire river is just shy of 1,000 miles or 1,500 kilometers if you count the bends. It is 100% within the province of British Columbia, and that is what gave them hope, because the headquarters of the Hudson's Bay Company was down in Vancouver, what is now Vancouver, Washington. When the border was established, negotiated as the 49th parallel in 1846, the Hudson's Bay Company had to move up to Victoria, which is the only part of Western Canada that is below that 49th parallel. Then they came in from Fort Langley and they established Fort Hope, and they hoped that this river was still north of the 49th parallel. If you see that snowy peak way in the distance there, that is effectively the border with the United States. That's Washington. But this river is solely within British Columbia, which was not Canada, of course. It was British territory. There was 2 colonies, Vancouver Island and New Caledonia, and they established this as a fur trading fort. And then in 1858, some prospectors are down along this river and they find, of course, gold. And this leads to people moving up from San Francisco to Victoria. Remember, Vancouver didn't even exist. They'd sail all the way up this river, and they couldn't get much further. Well, just about 20 minutes drive from here is Yale. Yale today is 500 people. In 1860, Yale was 40,000 people, and they had to walk up over the mountains, and that was the Caribou Trail into the gold fields of the interior. Now, the reason you've all come today, aside from these stunning views, right, Michelle? I mean, stunning. And it's so nice. I'm so thrilled for Diane, because she knew, like everyone does, when you're coming to the Rockies, to Banff, you know what you're coming to. People aren't yet prepared for how beautiful this is here. But the real reason, of course, you want to come on this trip is because this has become a center of wood carving. Let me just show you, first of all, the beautiful salmon up here and the sign for the mighty Fraser and the dogwood, the symbol of British Columbia, out here. So it is just spectacular. Everyone's saying hi back to you. So Diane is chatting away in real time, but Diane's going to watch your step, because it's very easy to get distracted around here with all the wood carving. Now, the oldest church in interior British Columbia is here in town, and this is the land of the Stolo people, the people of the river. People have lived here, well, they say 10,000 years, but we know on the West Coast we're talking more like 40,000 years, so it's pretty incredible. Have a look. There's the big bear out there talking about downtown Hope. Around to the right, That's fantastic. Feel free to share this, everyone. I thought we'd have more people on board today, but it might just be the time of the day. But these wood carvings, so they started having competitions. But what I want to make as a point about this is, of course, this is the land, this is the West Coast, this is the land of totems. People have been carving wood here for thousands of years. So the fact that this has become, hi Anne, nice to see you. So the fact that this has become a famous place for wood carvings is not that surprising whatsoever, because the great tradition of wood carving goes back, well, say literally thousands of years. Remember, totems are not religious statements. Totems are histories, they're stories, and of course we're in the land of the giant cedars out here. So, you know, it is just spectacular. So we're going to go up and have a look at the river, then we're going to walk into the town center. By the way, when you look out at this mighty Fraser River, if you mistake it for the Mekong Delta, you would be well within reason, and that is because, of course, they filmed Rambo here, and we will take you to see Rambo. So that's pretty famous as well. Have a look at this lovely First Nations person here. But also, we talk about the Fraser being the greatest of the salmon rivers in the world, and it is. But look at this fish here. That's not a salmon. That is a giant sturgeon. And I believe the biggest sturgeon ever caught by Hope here was 344 kilos. That is 700 and something pounds. And when they fish for those, they basically put a roast beef on a hook and drag it along the bottom. Ancient fish. I think that Ogopogo was a sturgeon. I think Loch Ness Monster was a sturgeon too, if it wasn't an elephant. But let me just come back to the people of the river here for a second. Now, gosh, I wish I had an extra 20 years to learn to actually speak some of these languages, because they're just incredible. But people have been living here. I say this one says, they figure 20 to 60,000 people lived up this valley, up the mighty river itself. And this is what a pit house would look like. But remember, now that we're on the West Coast effectively, people were not food insecure. Salmon ran. And when the salmon came up, did I ever do a virtual tour here, Natalie? Yeah, I did loads of them here. I camped here in my van during COVID. So I have done quite a few of them here. By the way, on the side of the mountain out there, you'll see forest fire damage as well. Nice to see some snowpack. Vancouver is almost a 2-hour drive straight west of here. So we're gonna leave, hey Chloe, you here? We're gonna leave at 10:15 our time, so it's 9:37 now, and we're gonna drive down. We're gonna bypass Vancouver as we head to Tsawwassen, which is where, of course, the ferry terminal is. But that's the gorgeous valley. So, lovely mountain. So let's go and cross over and wander up towards the park. And it is just, isn't it just a charm? Aren't you? Well, Diane's thrilled to be here. I think this was one of the things you were most excited about, wasn't it? Yeah, it is just such a neat place.
To come for the carvings.
Yeah, they're just so good. So we're down, like I say, about 40 meters. Hey, Jolene, nice to see you. So we're just above sea level now. And an hour and a bit ago, we were way up at like 4,000 feet. So there we go. Sorry, just waiting dutifully for the lights to change. There they go. Alrighty. So we're gonna go wander in. We've got wood carvings either side the whole way along. So Little Hope here is about 8,000 or 9,000 people. If we had gone straight up there, and I did take Diane for a little drive over the Fraser River. Oh, sorry, noisy motorcycle. So there's 3 roads that converge here. Highway 3, which is the southern route through the southern BC, and that was originally the Kettle Valley. Sorry, I'm just gonna let this motorcycle hurt my ears. That was the old Kettle Valley, Terry too, hey Terry. The Kettle Valley system, which was an early train system to the southern Kootenays, which is great mining and everything in there. Then, of course, you have the Trans-Canada Highway, which follows the Fraser River. But now, since I guess it was the 90s, they opened the mighty Coquihalla. So when I was a child and we'd drive out here, it would take about 4 hours longer than it did for us today. And it was that now down the canyon is a wonderful drive, but it's also some pretty hairy driving. But the Coquihalla Highway that we came over today was perfect. But that's the one, you see it in all those shows about the most dangerous hills, because when you drive down from the summit of the Coquihalla, somewhere in winter is the freezing line, and that's where the ice forms. So it you see those symbols. Look at this. This is called Stairway to Heaven. Excuse me, my cold is almost gone, everyone. which is great news. But yeah, we could put those wings on and take off. Pretty lovely, hey? Now this old, do you know I used to eat in this motel, but it's closed down, unfortunately. I guess I haven't been coming back enough. I like this old guy here on the other side of the road, but isn't he fun? So some of the carvings are looking a little weathered, but then they have new ones. They have competitions every year and, you know, famous carvings. But let's keep on going. Now the outdoor shop is fun here. And if you go into these outdoor shops, you can do a couple of things. You can pick up gold panning equipment. That's what's being advertised in the window there. And of course, I have panned all around here. Very, very unsuccessfully, I'd like to say. Even though I love prospecting, it's hard to find gold. But I was showing Diane today some places we took the back road in where people are out hanging out and prospecting. It's this time of year. Hi, Mary Lou. People are prospecting this time of year because after, well, not quite yet. After the snowmelt comes down with the high water, that's what shifts the gold, and that's why people prospect in spring. Look at these gorgeous animals here. There's the cougars, I guess, or maybe bobcats. No, cougars by the big paws. But yeah, this outdoor shop is interesting, and there used to be a picture in there of the biggest sturgeon that they caught. But this is so we're, like I say, about 2 hours inland from Vancouver itself. Now, Greater Vancouver is, of course, a big city. You're talking about 3 million people. So this is the last of our small towns out here. But it's also now, I love this place, always do. Although in the winter, it can be pretty gray almost all the time because the weather comes in from the coast and whacks into these mountains. And sometimes people say they just can't bear it in the winter. So, look at the lovely art in here too. Beadwork. I gotta come and show you a couple of really good ones here. Hi, Karen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my friend Karen in Montreal. And Karen's had to take a pause from work, so I said, hey, come and join me for a little walk here. So it's nice to see you here, Karen. And it's yeah, Karen's mommy and my mommy are cousins. Now look at this gold prospector here. Isn't that just fantastic? And look at this day, Karen, you should be out west. This is where you belong. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna cross the street, seeing as how you're here, Karen, because I've got you a special date for this weekend, seeing as how you're gonna be stuck inside. It does feel remote, Chloe, that's a great question. There you go. So Karen, if you want me to get you his phone number, more than happy to pass on. So there is Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, because we are in that part of the world. He's really got a glow on today with the sun behind him. And he's called a Harry. Isn't he cute? But look at this town. So Hope is just, I mean, it's become every tour bus. So to Chloe's question, does it feel remote? It feels small for sure. Coming in the back way is just really lovely. It's just pretty lakes and everything. And you really do feel like you're in prospecting country. I don't know why the lights aren't changing, but it's I've got to take you over and we'll go see all the big characters out here. But also, notice the giant cedar trees, right? They're all over. Well, I guess we'll cross over this one once and we'll go see that bear. And then we'll go over and we'll see Rambo. There's a brand new one of a sheriff, some actor that maybe some of you will know. I certainly don't know who it is, but then I don't tend to follow a lot of that kind of stuff. But this up here has got a bear with a salmon. The temperature right now is like 18. It's perfect. I mean, it's literally perfect. And you can feel a bit of the humidity. By the way, big bear population out here too. It's not that we don't have the grizzlies, but have a look at. So you got the prospector there hiding in the tree. And then you've got the bear. And of course, if you move around back, what does one find? The bear behind. Look. Diane, you missed your cue to laugh at that joke. You were busy typing to everybody. So let's, actually, we'll just cross over here. I'm giving these real-time, thank you, Robert, for laughing. Giving these real-time good humor, and Diane's busy typing with all of you. So the District of Hope out here. This has been going on for years. Now remember, Greater Vancouver is considered to represent about 23-25% of all films that are Hollywood films. And so a lot of the filming happens up through these valleys in so many different ways. And you always know if you're near a film area if you see an arrow strapped onto something, and it just shows. And they have even a division of the police to deal with that. So here is, well, Ryan Villiers is the carver, but it's Sheriff Will Teasel, and the actor is Brian Dennehy. So I haven't a clue who that is, but I'm sure some of you do know. Thank you for groaning in. That's much better. Now, Diane, will you go have a seat with your boyfriend over there? All right. Diane's going to go hang with her special friend. Yeah. It's, yeah. He's just going to come and embrace her. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Robert is just saying, better than your statue of the bear with the salmon. And well, Mary Lou, you'll have to inform me who that is. That statue in Ottawa is probably the worst statue in all of Canada. So that's sort of a funny one. But yeah, I mean, basically I watch movies on airplanes. So, so let's go up and see Rambo. And yes, Diane confirmed to me that Stallone used to be a performer in adult movies. How did you know that?
Yes.
But so here you go. There he is up there. Kind of a small version of him. So there he is, Rambo First Blood. Oh, Judy, it's your birthday today? Hold on. Judy, it's your birthday? Hey, it's so good to have you here for your birthday. Jean de pays, c'est à ton tour de te laisser parler d'amour. Happy birthday. I'm so happy you're here. Hey, you've just made my day. It's, we'll keep in touch, because when I'm out on the ferry later, I'll probably do a Facebook Live. But have a look at, so there is Rambo. So, problem?
You want to walk in front of me?
That's,
Oh, thank you.
see how nice everybody is? So there you go. So there's Rambo. I feel like I have to stop here for a minute so everyone can do Rambo. So carry on with the park. Giant cedar trees, but keep a look at the tree in front of me. Diane, can you find the bear?
Yep.
There's a baby bear up on the side of the tree. Remember,
So cute.
black bears have curved claws and they are great climbers. Grizzlies are not such good climbers, but they can reach up and pull you out of the tree. But look at this growth out here. So remember, the trees in Jasper and Banff weren't even out yet. And as we drove down the Yellowhead yesterday, it went from budding to full, and now we're in summer down here. Look at that bear on it. Isn't that just fantastic? And they're just everywhere through town here. Like, it takes so long to find them all, but it's just such a treat. Look at the mountains in the background. Now it's actually kind of a gazelle, or more of a pronghorn, I guess. And the lion up top. Hey, thanks, Michelle. Do appreciate the contributions, of course, because slowly but surely we're growing this page. So that's very kind. Judy, it's so lovely to have you here on your birthday. And yeah, this one is always interesting, this owl to me, because I always see it from the side at first. But I believe, so Bridget Lockhead is the carver, but I think this is from some movie that, again, I'm just not a movie person that much, so I can't tell you too much. But I know I've seen that from one of those older films, but anyway, it's sort of interesting. Now more carvings over here, which is just wonderful. So yeah, in terms of tours, if the tours are coming from the interior out to Vancouver, you always stop here for lunch. Or there was a big tour bus of people who were having just the time of their lives. They arrived when we arrived. They were really fun, and they were obviously coming from Vancouver. So this is actually a monument to the dogs from the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Incidentally, when I was here last time, which is, I guess last year, there was a monument down here. Hey, thank you, Sarah. Nice to see you there. To the missing and murdered women. And we had Red Dress Day the other day. And I did talk about that, of course, in Banff, and it's extremely important. That's May 5th. But also to the kids. Now, this valley through here is one of the valleys where the residential school system was particularly abusive, and many unmarked graves have been found. So this is very much part of the process of reconciliation. I would expect that it was just cleaned up or taken down because this winter they had quite a lot of snowfall down through here. So ça fait plaisir. But let's keep going around the big park here, because it's just So much fun. And when we drove in, say I came back along the Coquihalla River, and I was pointing out to Diane where people were pulled over and where they set up camp and they prospect for gold in the summer. Like, people actually do it still. No, Chloe, what we're doing is we're actually heading from here straight to Tsawwassen, right to the ferry terminal. So what you do is you bypass Vancouver now. It's a really good system. So just before we get to the big Port Mann Bridge, then we pull off and loop around to the ferry terminal. So it's really effective. It's pretty much 2 hours from here to the ferry terminal. I'm giving us 2.25. If we get there early, there's a nice market. So it's a win-win. And then we sail for the hour and a half across to Swartz Bay and drive into Victoria. And my brother is coming down from Parksville to hang out with us tonight. So Karen, we'll give you a call maybe, which will be fun. And so hang out with my brother. So here's another nice little carving here. Now we could keep going lots of directions, but I like this. I know there's a tower in the back, but I like this with the snowy peak in the back up there, which is pretty spectacular. If we went all the way, actually there's one more mural I want to show everyone too. It's getting a little faded, but it's a good mural and it is worth seeing. We'll have fun with my brother. We'll sit there, we'll go and have dinner down by the harbor, and not to tell you all about Diane's life, but Diane has not seen the Pacific Ocean before.
Never.
So this is going to be a big thrill to sail across it. And then we will sit and we will watch the Coho ferry come in and out. That's the one that goes over to Washington State. Have a look at this mural. Now it's gotten a little faded, but there is the eagle. We've already seen an eagle today. And the lumber, of course, coming in and out. So this is very much the history of British Columbia as we know it. Now remember, it was 2 colonies, like I was saying at the beginning. There was Vancouver Island and New Caledonia. They were fused into British Columbia. And that was all based around the Caribou Trail, which was the route all the way up over these mountains and into the interior. This one's getting a bit faded, but this is the Workers' Memorial. So, and this is actually really significant. It's in memory of those who've lost their lives as a result of workplace accident or occupational disease. And Sarah's just saying she'll be excited for you seeing the ocean for the first time.
Oh, thank you. I am very excited.
But I think what Diane's a little nervous about the movement of the ship, but people who've been on BC ferries realize it's just so calm. And I will have a white spot burger for lunch. It's just one of those traditions. And I'll probably phone my mum, because my mum would do exactly the same thing. My mum went to the University of British Columbia and had a burger for lunch apparently every day during her undergraduate. She said it used to cost 35 cents. It'll cost me $11 now for like a burger with nothing else. But anyway, it's a BC tradition. So let's cross back over to the park here and we'll make our way around. I could, really I can do about 3 different tours in Hope. And I hope you'd like all of them, but they are, there's actually so much more here. Down by the river at the far side. I once had a bicycle here and I was able to cover some more territory. This is a really neat monument up here as well. Feels very indigenous. But this is carved in celebration. Oh, that's right. This is for the Olympic run in 2010. So this is a monument to the Olympic torch. Robert's just saying, if you can dip your feet into the Pacific, he's done on both ends.
Oh,
Do you know,
love to.
by the way, I don't think I've put up a clip of it yet, but yesterday we did, I don't know if I made a clip, but I did stop in after Mount Robson, and of course, fabulous Mount Robson was clear as a bell yesterday, so what a treat, tallest mountain in the Canadian Rockies. But then I stopped at the viewpoint for Mount Terry Fox, and some of you will remember, you've joined me on virtual tours in St. John's, Newfoundland. That was, of course, where he started his run across the country, which he never completed, of course, when the cancer came back. But mile 0 is the other end, and that is right down in Victoria. And I will take Diane literally there today. It was actually a funny one. That's one spot. We can't really do a virtual tour, and I think what happens is we keep picking up the broadcasting from the States, and it cuts the reception out. But look at these trees. I know we're here for wood carving, but to see the wood in its natural, look at these trees, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, Founders Grove, which is in Northern California, are the biggest ones in the world, but these are the same family. These are the sequoia, right? Look at these wonderful, wonderful trees. Now, why they're so interesting and why they live to be the biggest trees in the world is you come up and you look at their bark, and just underneath it, come check this out, Diane. If you just reach under the bark here, it's always a little bit damp. And so you got to get underneath a little bit. It's always a little damp in there. And that is a natural fire suppression. So that's how these trees manage to live so long. That said, with the way the climate is changing, there is a suggestion that we'll lose all the cedar trees on Vancouver Island, for example, which would just be a tragedy of tragedies. So this is the big Central Park here. And it's just lovely to have. And they're so smart. You see there's 2 tour coaches now. So they've made it a really good place to come in and stay that way. When I had my van, I camped here for a few nights back during the pandemic, and it was perfect. And because it's a fun area to explore. But I was here actually camping when we had that heat dome, and it was over 40 degrees Celsius here. That's over 100 Fahrenheit. That's too hot for this part of the world. We should never be that hot. So what we're gonna do is, actually we're gonna cut this way just because everyone's walking in, but there's a little Japanese garden. We'll head over there and I'll show you 1 or 2 more carvings, and then we will call it a day. And we're gonna head out to the coast. So look at this tree though. I mean, isn't it just spectacular? It's it's just lovely. Excuse me, I have a little bit of this chesty cold, but you know what? The other day in Jasper, I don't know if you've seen the clip, but we did see a really good black bear yesterday coming down the road. Oh, and what did you think, Diane, of Spa Hot's Canyon?
Breathtaking. There's just so much beauty here. It's just indescribable. It's how the depth of the canyons and the rushing of the water and the thunderous sound is just, it's amazing. Love it all.
But the Spa Huts one is always my favorite because I've never been able to do a tour there. There's no reception, but I always save it. I don't tell people what they're going to see. And you walk up to it and it's it's going to be water because you can hear it, but it's 3 times bigger than you think. Here are some of the famous people from the area. So there's Simon Fraser, the first European to travel the length of the river. And Simon Fraser University is one of the big universities in the coast. And fur fishing forts, of course, there's that 1848 I was talking about. And then there's the gold rush, right? And of course, that bit I always find amazing. James Douglas was the first governor of British Columbia. And, sort of a funny fellow. And then they, of course, started out building this Caribou Trail. And what you would do is you take steamboats up to here, or up to Yale, walk over the Caribou Trail, and then get back into the paddle wheelers to get into the interior. But this giant wall of coastal mountains is literally a block. And all of this rock around here, too, is not actually from here. This is all tourist rock. This all came in on the Pacific Plate as it whacked in to the North American plate, or the Turtle Island plate. And these were all islands that were brought in. And so suddenly this is all volcanic. There are no active volcanoes here in Canada at all. But just south of the border is Mount Baker, which I've already seen. And I will see Mount Baker from the ferry today. That's how perfect a day it is. 13,000 foot volcano just south of the border, puffing away. So, by the way, don't buy any land. Here's the Friendship Garden, by the way. Don't buy any land in Tacoma, Washington, because Mount Rainier's on a 50-year watch. Look at this, Friendship Garden, built by the local Japanese Canadians, commemorating the Japanese Canadians interned during World War II. Now, that's another story, but I did put up a little post about that yesterday. But see the Friendship Garden. So ladies and gentlemen, you all have a wonderful day. Look at this lovely it's just a little oasis. Isn't it perfect? And there's more carvings all through town. That is such a nice house. I think that's a heron they have out front. Isn't that lovely? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, listen, thank you for the contributions. Those who made them, thanks for hanging out with us. Judy, happy birthday to you. I mean, really happy birthday. Come and say hi to everyone. Don't look.
Bye, everybody. Love and hugs.
Diane's watching you all in real time.
I think it's so cool.
It is real. It is so cool. Let me just take you over for one more carving, everyone. And then we're going to hop in and take off on the road. But here's, this is actually more of I guess it's an eagle still. I'm pointing out lots of osprey nests yesterday. Chloe, it's great to give you hope. But you see why I love coming here, right? It's honestly, big hugs to everyone. It really is the perfect place for a virtual tour and a perfect stop on the way into BC. But you know, when I think of all my friends over there in Europe, and you think, Michelle, when you're in Spain, you know, you don't go very far before you're, you know, still population everywhere. And here we drive, you know, well, the roads here, the speed limit's 120, and you still drive for like an hour and a half to get to the next town. So that's how vast this area is. So many people enjoying it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, lots of love to all of you. Take care, think warm thoughts, and feel free again to share again all of these things on your social media, because it's just really good. And I think people forget that these live videos are still there on YouTube, so feel free to share the links around. Okay, take care, all the very best.